Hi, Anya Green from Mango Languages here. I want to talk to you a little bit about our review system because we did not have a chance to really dive into this during our demos and webinars with you. But this is a good time to explain to you what our review system is and what it does. So you'll see up here, daily review. I'm currently in the German course and I have actually caught up with this review today, so I have nothing else to do. So this will prompt students once a day to tackle their review cards. And to show you how this works, I'll go to a different course now that I have not studied today, where I still have review cards. So I'll go to French, and I currently have 21 cards up for review. So what our review system does is that it takes everything that your students have studied. So you'll see here in French, I've studied a little bit in chapter 1. I've apparently also studied a little bit in chapter 2. So I've kind of jumped around just for test purposes here. But if your students progress linearly, of course, it will take all of the content and put some key lines into their review queue. So your students will, at the beginning, all see the same queue if they study all of the same content. But after a while, this content gets customized. There are two different ways to get to review. It will show up here. So you'll see we currently have 21 cards for French. You can just hit start. But it will also prompt you, if you're not doing it every day, after every single activity. So let's go here. We're somewhere in the middle of lesson 1 in chapter 2. Let me just jump to the end. You can always use this little scrubber bar up here. Of course, your students shouldn't. They should actually study those cards. And you can always check on them by looking at their activity to make sure they're not just spending 3 seconds on a lesson. Then you know they haven't studied. So let's go to the end of this. Now I've completed this lesson and I'll hit next. And it will now tell me, hey, it's time to review your cards that have piled up for you. So of course I can skip if I want to. If I skip, it'll just take me back out here and I can go into the next lesson. But I really shouldn't do that. So let me get another opportunity here. Let's say I've studied this entire lesson now. Let's finish it. I'm done with lesson 2. Now it really is time to study my cards. It is a good idea to study these daily so that they don't pile up too much. If you have your students study a lot, they'll get a lot of review cards. So in order to not make this review process too overwhelming and have this turn into 100 cards, you really should encourage them to do their review at least once per day, or at the most every couple of days, so that this does not pile up too much. Because the purpose of review is obviously for this information to enter the student's long-term memory. So you can see a preview of the cards that you have up for review right here. You can't really do anything with this yet. This is just for information purposes, and I won't click on this because I want to show you something else. And then you can, of course, also just enter the activity and start the review. So let's do that. So it's prompting me to reproduce the sentence because it's a sentence I have learned. It has a vocabulary I've learned. It has structures I have learned. I should be able to produce this. Now, sometimes, of course, if you let some time go by between review, it's possible that you don't remember this. So this is where you will click See Answer. The system gives you the answer, and now you as a student have the responsibility to answer whether you got it right or not. So let's say for me, this has been a while. I'm a journalist and my wife is an architect. I really don't remember that. I'm missing some words here. Let's say I tried to say it, hit the answer, and I realized I got this wrong. Then I will say, no, I did not get it right. Now I will go through these 21 cards and just hit yes on the other ones, just to show you how this works. Of course, I don't remember any of these cards, but your students should take this seriously. They should answer honestly whether they got it or not, because the system will now customize based on what they answer here, yes or no. So I'll just hit yes on all of these. You can hover over words to see the phonetic pop-ups as well. So all of these features are the same.
I'm a journalist and and my wife is an architect.
So now you may recognize this sentence, right? I'm now almost at the end. I've reviewed 20 cards that I got right, and this is the one card from the beginning that I did not get right, where I answered no. So it's presenting me with this card again. Now, of course, since I now tried to figure it out, and I looked at the answer the last time, I can say this correctly now. I can say, yes, now I got it. And this concludes my review. So you'll see here actually what this little info symbol was going to show you earlier. You see the different tiers in our space repetition system and where each of your cards is at. So the one that I did not get, I'm a journalist and my wife is an architect, where I clicked no, not only does it show me here that I said no, but it also shows me this is now still at the beginning of all of my repetition tiers. So it will show me this again tomorrow, of course, so that I can remember if I hit no again tomorrow, it's going to show me again the next day. But cards that I did memorize are a little bit further down the line. So this is how your review system really gets personalized to your students, where they may start out with the same list, but they certainly do not end with the same list. So now is where I can continue. I've done this, I've finished this lesson, I can now go on to the next lesson or to one of these activities. And this is everything you need to know about review. Please encourage your students to do it regularly. If you have any other questions about this, please reach out to your customer liaison. They'd be happy to help you and answer all of your questions.